Hello and good morning. So I actually wanted to start this off because there was a very good opportunity to show off one of the things that I personally just found friggin' amazing synergy-wise between the two knights that all your generics get. Namely the Terror Knight and the regular Knight, and that is right here. So what I did, basically had her go up, attack Lycomedes here, as well as try to hit Sistina. Basically the idea was Sistina's evasion's really high, so fine. So she just blocked it, this one countered, etc. And now it's free move time and phalanx. And all these guys just bundled them up, so just dropping them, bundled each other up, or themselves up, you know what I mean. Anyway, so they dropped themselves in a bit of a pile over there. So I have to say, it's nice, that a lot of the archers now aren't getting their friggin' craftable super bows. Not sure specifically what changed, but seems like a lot of that stuff's different. Now, basically what I'm doing on this map, this is floor... oh, what's it? Where's my guide telling me to do the stuff? There we go, Palace of the Dead. So that hippogriff there, Adontis, or Adonis, whatever. This is floor 71. That thing is supposed to be able to drop a lightning shield of some description. Yeah, so that's kind of the plan in this particular floor. Just basically save scumming to pick up that sort of thing. Since I got this drop table, I'm just going to try to max out whatever I can actually get on the way down. And now this is actually a couple fights away from the Cursed Fusel. So now it's Trafalgar's turn. And basically do this sort of thing. No, that's fine. Standard turn and all that. But look at this crap right here. So we go to Spell Break. Okay, so 100% on that. 119 to that guy, 119 to that one, 102 to that one. This is just amazing. Like, if you set up a line of these, they're double kill on a free move. So if you set up this thing, I'm gonna go do a fun formations video on this actually once I finish with POTD, because there have been a bunch of really cool ones that I've been messing around with down here. But essentially, if you set up a line of like Knight, Terror Knight, etc., and that works for White Knights as well, you can put yourself in a situation where they'll just come in between all the clones and you can just nuke a bunch of things in a row. Like, especially if you give them similar loadouts and give them similar timings and all that, if you keep everybody in line, you can wind up with some pretty awesome stuff. So, I think it's about time to start save scumming this hippogriff. So yeah, saving for a lot of these cursed weapons has been a bit ridiculous. I actually thought I ran into another situation with this Lich King thingamajig in 472. Turns out no, it actually was the right one. It was just being super douchey about dropping the weapon, so I ended up restarting that fight a few times, thinking, you know, maybe there's some other version of that or something, I don't really know. So I kept going and going and going. And yeah, finally, after like what felt a billion years of smacking around that guy like a frickin' piñata, he finally dropped his cursed cudgel, so that happened. Finish off Folk over here. And goodbye, Sistina. Probably gonna want her back. Yeah, so far Sistina has been absolutely rocking things left and right. Although she spends the end of almost every fight in the dirt, it's actually kind of a wonder that she hasn't actually gone quit yet with those kinds of drop numbers, but what can you do? I meant to drop an Aegis, I guess, whatever, on her last time. But, you know, the opportunity for a Phalanx explosion was a bit too good. So there's that. And that's the nice thing about all these skill rebounds, is that there's actually a question of, like, do you want to go and defend that guy? Do you want to be able to go and, you know, do this alternative here of just nuking the Christ out of a bunch of monster units? I don't know. All is gonna vary. I'm just gonna item healed and all over here. Mostly because I wanted to have enough points to get Sistine off the ground. Yeah, I've been using a lot of two-hander units, just pretty much to help with that whole there's freaking monsters everywhere situation. And they do a lot of damage to them. Things coming up later. You can go ahead and take out Zombie Witch Lady over there. Or do something along them lines. Oh, and I actually completely changed my mind. There's not really much of a point for me to go and sacrifice all of my veteran units here. Valkyrie was the exception because, well, her whole build's based around a thing that I ended up not really having around, and also it turns out I did the right thing with her anyway. Because apparently, in order to get the most out of these cursed weapon things, you have to go and get them maximum proficiency, maximum racism, for lack of a better way to put that skill tree. Not even a tree, so to speak. Skill thingy. But, yeah, maximum of whatever you want them to go and hurt the most. If you have an affinity or whatever else. Maximum of that, apparently. Just max out all that stuff, grind the hell out of it, and then all of that stuff carries over to the weapon, as well as their base stats, which that part I already knew. I still have Dragon Stakes. I'm not sure how to get more of them, because I haven't actually seen them show up ever since starting this. So I thought they were removed from the game, actually. And hit him. Or not. Fine. Yeah, Conviction's a really good move. It's super inaccurate still, because I haven't trained it enough on her. On account of usually attacking from 2 tiles away. Boots. Let's see, other item-wise that I run into here, there was an item that I'm really glad I had the drop table for. There was a Daedalus Pinion, which I never would have found otherwise. The thing is, it's like a rather innocuous crafting item that sort of drops on a couple enemies down here. And apparently it is really useful. Apparently you need like 12 of them things for a bunch of optional bosses later on. How anyone figured this out, I have no idea. Because that doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Like, I never would have thought, okay, I need to go smack around a golem thing in order to have him drop a gear in order to go fight a friggin' necromancer guy in the bottom of hell, in order to have him drop a book, in order to use that book to then, you know, basically go and craft a fork in order to fight an angel or some crap. Oh. So, I don't know what that's all about. I'm assuming there will be some plot stuff later that explains it. Now it's save scum time. A couple of other things I forgot to mention. Didn't end up doing all that crafting for class marks that I was intending to do when I actually got to the store. So yeah, those ones, as far as ingredients and stuff like that go, basically the only things you really need a fair bit of are going to be gold thread. Is simple enough to make if you've got ores and textiles. So, no super rare items or whatever else needed for them. Which was nice. Pick a poison. Fast forward just a little bit to get past all this. Nice. Opportunity for more save scumming over here. It's actually funny that I was originally planning to completely skip all this, go back to the cursed weapons later. Then something else occurred to me. Namely that, well, to even get that crossbow and Sheridian or whatever, I have to go back a second time before resetting everything. Ooh, there we go, that was the item. Tempest Shield, apparently used to be called Shield of the Storm. I like the new name. Right. There. They have Canopus drop on it. It's Probably gonna drop on it in order to double check its contents. This is typically what I like to do just to make sure that I don't get weirdly glitched out or something. I don't know of any way that that can happen, but it's always good to double check. Frankly, I do not trust this drop system whatsoever. Have this Hydra thing. Well, they can't fly, but, you know, they've got hydroponic farms. Oh, well, bye, Sustina. Nice to have you back for half a second. It actually was occurring to me yesterday, so I was out for a walk with the dog and all that. Like, you know, all these fights basically are skirmishes that are lasting a few seconds, and it would be, I don't know if it would be hilarious or horrifying to actually hear what they sound like in real time. Like, all these friggin' explosions and crap going off at the same time. Need a health reduction, that's what you need. So, Feista hasn't been terribly useful. I kind of wanted to put her in for why the hell not sake. Range on this. That is... Picked up Tabula Rasa on all my guys. On all my healers. They pointing to friggin' late healer, but... So, very good. Has some pretty decent range. Gets rid of all debuffs. Fantastic move. So, as always, liking yet another change. Don't think there's any changes I've actually disliked so far. Yeah. Got all this movement change that's feeling pretty nice. Got all the new names, those are feeling pretty nice. Actually, there's one thing that I was upset with myself for missing before, which is that the Viking sword, which never made sense name-wise, got changed to Warblade. Yeah, that's basically what they were called back then. Like, a large two-hander sword was basically a war sword, and your sword was a sidearm, more or less. I mean, at the time when two-handers became a more popular thing, armor improved, etc. Yeah, they just got called war swords for a while because they were kind of the best parts of having both a spear and a sword with you. So if you needed to just outright, you know, stab a guy from far away, you had the option. If somebody was wearing something that you could actually cut through, which was maybe not necessarily likely, but it was there. Also had quite a bit of heft behind it, so if something, you know, crushing-wise would suit your situation better, then you had that option as well. And as I understand it, that's why they were so popular in Italy, because they had a lot more of a mercenary culture kind of thing going on. Yeah. Actually, it's kind of cool. With Italy, you see a lot more of a lot of stuff that's kind of like represented in a lot of games and stuff. I mean, there was a realistic basis for that going on in Italy. Like, you'd see people with like weird armor designs and weird weapon choices and stuff like that. It's like a bunch of like mercenaries wearing weird crap that they just sort of customized and whatever else. Cool to see. There's a lot of cool stuff from back then, so I was looking at this thing a while ago on old armor designs and things like that, and especially customizations people had put on stuff. And so there was especially this cool one that, as I understand, had happened somewhere in England there. Some knight had basically gone and painted his armor to look like the night sky. So when they had gone and they did like paint analysis and whatever else of the thing, it basically, you know, black with a bunch of white sparkles on it. Like this guy was the Midnight Knight or something. It's awesome. So, kind of wondering what the story was behind that guy, because they didn't really elaborate beyond that. Is this just a guy that only went out and fought at night? Permanently chaos aligned? I don't know. Actually, recently for what must be, I don't know, 8th or whatever time, I went back, tried to see if I can make any sense of the Chronicle of Valeria mod. So it's basically it's basically a lot like this in many ways, except for the original TO. And, you know, they approached it from a different angle. Personally, I prefer this, even based off what I heard. But the weird part is, they, even put it, they put so much effort into figuring, you know, putting new stuff in there that they forgot to really make it user-friendly. So, like, I'm sure it makes more sense if you can speak Japanese. I cannot speak Japanese. It's something I plan to do. It's not something I can do. But point being, you know, I'm looking at the instructions for this thing, and they're like, oh, here's 47 or whatever patches in a row to basically go and slap on there in order to make this thing work. And I'm looking at it, and it's got some cool stuff, like units evolving into new classes and stuff like that. Like, basically, like, you have a soldier, and then they basically get better, and they can become, let's say, a fencer or whatever, and the fencer's better with swords, and the soldier can become more of a tanky thing, or, you know, let's say one of those guys ends up becoming a berserker, which turns into the Terror Knight, and then some other version of the Terror Knight down the road. Which is cool and all that. They brought back the whole day-night cycle and people doing better based on alignment situation from Ogre Battle. But all that effort to put the thing together, I couldn't make heads or tails of the thing. And long story short, once it's all said and done, there's no English patch. Actually, as far as I can tell, there was only one attempt made to actually make an English patch, and the guy was basically begging to be let off the project by the end of it. Like, look, guys, this will literally take me years. There's nothing to be done here. Please let me go. It almost sounded like they were keeping him in the basement or something. Also, like a doofus, I forgot to check what was here. Okay, so got 3 items to be gotten here. So it's like Brimstone Bow, Thunderbow, and Orichalcum. So 2 Blood Hunters and did. Sorry, I'm just readjusting my windows so I can see all of it at once. There we go. First things first, take a look at this. Blood Hunter and Wolf. Male Chaotic Elevation 11. Alright, so that guy, I can drop one of the bows. Any others? Apparently there's 2 different versions of this archer. Both Male Chaotic Elevation 11, or maybe it's... Oh! Okay, no, it is the exact same guy, he just drops one. And other than that is Orichalcum. You know what? If he drops the bow, good deal. I'll go for the bow. I don't really care about the Orichalcum. The Warlock didn't actually end up spawning in, but I've got a ton of good daggers. I don't actually have many people with daggers, so I think I'll just leave that one as it is, because I'm pretty sure those can be gotten in other places anyway. But we'll see as it goes. This map is a little bit annoying, quite frankly, because of all these map shenanigans. By the way, this kind of stuff is pretty much why I ended up going and chopping out a bunch of bits and pieces all the way down here. Because some of these maps, actually a lot of them, I'd pull stuff like this, where basically dealing with a situation that you have to use the overhead map over and over, and I can't really use that for more than a second without the game going nuts. So there's that. I can kind of off-screen that mess. You know what, why don't you just sit there? And admittedly, yes, there was a fair bit of saves coming up to this point. And I figure necessary because of how many weird drops there are, all that sort of thing. Actual fighting-wise, it hasn't been necessary. I have to say right now, based off testing the Iron Man run and off of kind of playing it as it is, using the actual chariot thing to actually get fair, you know, outcomes and fights and stuff like that, not even remotely necessary anymore. Now, you can use it to flat out cheat to speed stuff up, which I will actually not do so, because... But yeah, definitely Iron Manable at this point. Original one was 2, but that's more of those kind of making it through the game in spite of the game instead of because the game was like I don't know. Just always felt like that original. Oh, I mentioned it many times. Felt like they put in all that stuff and then forgot to actually send in balance it. Like they had just hired a guy. That guy just was drunk most of the time and. Oh, deadline's next week. Oh well, I better get to balancing. Oh well, I got through chapter 1. I guess that's as far as we're getting with that. No, it's all good. Actually, based off what I read on the on that other mod, it's kind of funny because even this right now seems to be faring a little bit better than that did on scaling. So what's funny is they did the system where basically everything scales all the time, which works in this one. I don't really know if it worked in the original. Because yeah, I was watching this video where this guy was testing it out, and even one level, because they had done the system where the leader was always one level higher than everyone else, and one level was enough to just make a guy tank hit. Crazy. Alright, you keep your EP removing nonsense over there. Don't need anybody stealing my toilet paper. Yeah, this should be one of the pretty fast ones. Few of the battles pretty darn fast, like that last one. Almost all of them that take part on that map are really quick just because of your immediate access to everybody on there. This one tends to be pretty fast because they funnel themselves up and tend to take a lot of hits. Yeah. I don't really know. I forgot to heal sustain there. Another funny thing. They occasionally just leave all their squishies back here. Not sure why, but they do. Probably be trapped. Drop a trap right there. No, I probably should have dropped her on the other side to trap the knight. Oh well. Another time, another place, and all that. Better dickery. Getting my loots. Take away this guy's shield. Not. Probably should go scrape up, with a spatula, huh? About to say, come back here with a different team. You guys are not being very effective right now. Now what I should be doing is basically using anyone but Faista. I wanted her to get a couple more points. So far, that has not worked out splendidly. Maybe Kashra can make up the damage. He has a tendency to do that pretty darn well. So far, I'm leaving that healer untouched up to the point where I can go and get Canopus over there to Inflagrante the guy and just turn this fight around. And More or less, that's what my party's set up around. Sit, wait, hold out, and then turn a bunch of their guys against each other. Works out pretty well. Oh, you fool. Get exploded. Oh, well. It always does half health, so didn't really do a whole lot to him there. But those times when you can get like 400 damage off a free move, it's fantastic. Probably should have had somebody healing Trafalgar, huh? Him off. Funny because so far, two of the guys that have had drops, or cursed weapons or whatever else, have pulled it for what reason. Doing such a good job keeping everyone alive. It's fine. We have 2 revived. Okay. Boink. So Apathy is probably gonna get herself donked by that archer back there. Not too concerned about that. Almost got enough points. In that case, go shoot the healer. Probably just iteming yourself is gonna do, really. 50 damage isn't gonna change anything. I think the issue is I'm not getting that many blocks right now. That guy with his evade is gonna be a bit of an enemy. I'm not sure if the cat's purring is coming through. He's just kind of snuggled up in my armpit here. Purring like a friggin' boat. Ogre isn't coming up any soon. What's Estina up? Because her damage is what's really lacking here. Pretty much the reason I've been using her so often, due to the way that Swordmasters work. Flat out amazingness now. What they do, you just set them up in a choke point, you make sure that they have healing of some description, and then basically, just, as long as nobody can attack them from the sides, they have a situation where they will hit pretty much everything, block almost everything, and then if you give them preempt, they're usually going to be doing 200 plus per round, in my experience with her so far. Oh, him, hopefully. Yeah, that's a pretty good hit. Mostly what I want is for those two. I want those two to be able to go and attack that archer from the back. Distract some of the healing elements a little bit. Bit overwhelmed on all aspects here, but the middle's overwhelmed. Here, damage isn't. Oh, you know what? Oh, never mind. Not very good with. Oh well. Arch that guy then. Good lord, what rank is that? Gotta be like... Christina, where are your blocks? Curiosity. What rank is it? Oh, rank 3. He's got 50% on each one, but that was a lot of 50% rolls. Alright. You're just gonna continue being a living roadblock. Roadblock and damage absorption. That is your lot in life. No? Dang it. Gotta go get that cursed gun. Oh. Nope. Scratch that. You are gonna die to save Donaldo. First off that. Second of all that. And hopefully she will be blocked enough from the front to actually survive until... Man, really? Alright, new plan. Alright, instead, heal Kashua. And go shield up Donaldo, and then that should do it. That should be the win right there. Crit. Never mind. Amazing. That crit that does it, that's the annoying part. Alright, we'll do this in another order. Where I'll move on and try other things if this isn't. Perfect. There we go. That's what I wanted. So if Face still loses a life, I'm not terribly fussed about that. Deal with that situation as it goes. Alright. Their Knight is the next one that can turn. She's gonna kill move. Do some good stuff. Nopus can now turn that heal. Fortunately, you know what? Do we even want to, really? Because he'll just go and heal him. Turn the archer instead. Aggie overhead map. Yeah, no. Turn this Wizard Lincoln against their guys. Because I'm assuming he'll attack the archer and healer. That's what he does. Come on. You can block one of these 40%. Resurrect Ogre. Get away from the front line. Cool. That's some disappointing damage. Yeah, when was Kashua bewitched? Really missed when that... Oh my god. You didn't. You did! Go get Tempested. Perfect. Beautiful. Actually, wait a second. Why am I even bothering with... We can just walk over here and use a salve on the guy. There we go. Good. Preempt, and hopefully they'll all go for her. Magic element pretty much out of the picture. Take out this isolated guy. I attacked him from the back. Looks like I did. Going a little bit longer than I anticipated. Yeah, I think I'm probably just gonna put a break in right here and continue it on next time. Terrible. Oh, he served his purpose. Anyway, I'll be back next time.